Welcome to today's Garage Devotional. I'm Pastor Ted from Connect Church in Ventura. Today we continue our series in the strange, weird, or unique Bible passages. We're in part 12. Today's strange and weird or unique Bible passage is found in Proverbs chapter 29, verse 20. But before we get into that, I want to help a few of you who have asked me some questions about how the Garage Devotional is not popping up on your Facebook feed. Here's one way that might help that. When you watch it, always hit the like button. And if you continue to hit the like button, it'll populate more on your Facebook feed and you'll probably be able to see it every week without having to search for it. Another way, you can find it on the church's Facebook page. That would be at Connect Church Ventura Facebook page. So if you go to that one, then you can find there, just click on Garage Devotionals and you'll get a whole list of them. Or you could go to my YouTube channel, which is Ted Pugh, A View from the Balcony. Do the same thing. Click on the Garage Devotional category, and you'll be able to see those as well. And then I encourage you to subscribe to those channels, because if you do, then it'll populate the Garage Devotional to you. All right. Let's jump into our strange and weird or unique car. Today, the car is a BMW Isetta. It started as an Italian-designed bubble-type car, and they started producing them in the 1950s. The first ones only had a 9.5 horsepower engine in them, very small. There are no side doors on the Isetta. Instead, you opened the front of it like a refrigerator, and the front of the car swung open on a side hinge. The dashboard and all came out as they got in the car. It originally had two wheels, but on the back, but now the newer one, which is not in production anymore, only has one wheel in the rear of it. And they boosted the horsepower to a whole whopping 13 horsepower. They produced, which amazes me, 161,000 of these. I saw one that might be an original or might be a knockoff just last week in Burbank, and I was surprised to see that. But let me show it to you so you see what it looks like. You see the kind of bubblish in it, and you see that front. That front just hinges open, and you crawl into it. So it is a unique car. I don't know if I would like it. It's kind of small, not enough horsepower, but that's the car for today. All right, let's jump in Proverbs 29:20, which says this: "Do you see a man who is hasty in his words? There's more hope for a fool than for him." Do you see a man who is hasty in his words? There's more hope for a fool than for him. The book of Proverbs is, if you don't already know, is a book of wisdom and was used to train those who are being trained to be leaders and counselors to the king. We can benefit from these words of Proverbs. We could learn how to be more wise and how to live better lives. So we could greatly benefit from this as we follow it. Here we find ourselves in a time of our culture where so many are speaking hastily in our culture. And this has a lot to speak to that and the destruction that has. In other words, they're speaking unduly, quickly, more quickly than they are thinking, without thinking or understanding. So the writer of Proverbs says there's more hope for a fool than a person who speaks hastily. Here, a fool means a person who lacks sense or is unwise, or one who lacks forethought. And that's what gets us in trouble a lot of times. We speak before we think. Isn't that true? We speak before we think so many times. We live in a culture and a time where we have an abundance of new platforms with the anchors and guests telling us all the quote-unquote factual news events and what is truth or real or what is fake news. We see that all the time. Much of our news today, though, is more commentary based in position or worldview than pure reporting of the events or the facts. And that makes us, that challenges us to be wise. It challenges us to have to filter through the things that are not facts, and these are not not the truth in these things. We have to filter through that, but not only on the way we get our news and the way who we listen to, but also in our everyday lives as we interact with people on the job and in schools or at church or wherever it might be. So we need to heed this advice of the writer of Proverbs, who's telling us, think before you speak. Think before we speak. That's what he's challenging us to do, to become truly informed before we speak. We need to look and learn about all the sides of an issue or all the things that are going on in this situation that you're in before we speak. James tells us in his epistle, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For anger of men does not produce the righteousness of God." So James is telling us to don't speak quickly. In other words, listen, wait on that. And then we do that. And also that we train ourselves to be slow to speak and slow to anger. Don't be so quick. I need to remind myself, don't be so quick to speak or get out my point or my view, but to listen first. To listen first. Proverbs 25:11 says, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver." We need to see that. Words that are fitly spoken, meaning it fits the situation. It's not bringing something that doesn't fit the situation. It's speaking directly to whatever's going on and not bringing in a bunch of other things. In other words, the right word and the right time is refreshing and enlightening. Oh, may we remember that. To share the right word at the right time. It'll refresh others, and it'll be enlightening to others, and it'll refresh us and be enlightening to us. It brings understanding instead of confusion due to a lack of understanding on the part of the speaker. Proverbs 22:17 says, "Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart to my knowledge." Listening to those who are truly wise and apply the knowledge you and I learn from them. Listen to those who are truly wise and apply the knowledge that we truly learn from them. This applies to wisdom that comes from Jesus' word as well, that we apply the wisdom of the word. And here we're applying the wisdom of Proverbs and the word of God for us today. Here's some takeouts for today. Number one, let's not be hasty with our words. Don't be quick to speak, and don't be hasty with your words to just get out there and get what you're trying to say out. Let's not be hasty with our words, not be so quick. Learn the importance of being fully informed as much as you can. I need to make sure that I'm as fully informed as I can before I start wanting to share something or correct something. And if I'm not fully informed enough, I need to step back and say, let me look at this a little bit more, and then we could come back and talk. 3, be willing to admit you do not have knowledge or understanding about whatever the discussion is about. If you're in discussion and you don't have a lot of knowledge or understanding, just admit it. Say, you know what, I don't know a lot about this. I'll listen and I'll hear, but I'll go back and to get no more educated on this point or whatever it might be. Do those things. Number 4, be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to get angry regarding whatever the discussion is about. Whatever it is, whether it's how to paint the house, what color to paint the house, whatever it might be, in your discussions, whether in the church setting or in the secular setting, whatever it might be quick. Let us be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to get angry, and regarding whatever the discussion is about. And lastly, always show grace. Let us always show grace. Let us listen before we speak. Let the other person speak. Listen and try to learn from that. So, and also, as I said, lastly, always show grace. Always show grace. Unmerited favor to everyone we meet, every discussion we're in, that whether it becomes a heated one or not, let's show grace, unmerited favor to just bless others. Well, that's what we have today. I will talk next week and have some more with another car and another strange and weird passage. All right, see you next week.